station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
Marshall Space Flight Center, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Don Reed at Marshall Space Flight Center for voice check. How do you hear me?
Hey, Don, we read you loud and clear, but there's a bit of an echo.
Huntsville copies. And with that, we'll hand over to R.J. Hillan.
Gentlemen, this is R.J. Hillan. I just wanted to say it's an honor for me to be able to talk to you.
Hey, RJ, we're really happy to be able to talk with you tonight.
The first question I have is, what was your impression of my design of the Multipurpose Precision Maintenance Tool? Do you think it'll be useful on station?
You know, I think this tool will be useful. We were just talking about it, Jeff and I were, you know, and what's cool about it is that oftentimes we're having to look for a deep well socket. Well, you don't really need a deep well socket when you have this, because you can hold it in your hand and put it down. And so it has lots of useful pieces on here. You know, one thing that that oftentimes with prototyping with 3D printing is there's a plastic version, then a metal version. But even this plastic version, I think, would work up to a certain torque value. So well done, and I think it's really cool.
Thank you. And for the next question is mostly about your inspiration for you, for both of you actually. What inspired you to actually pursue your career path and become an astronaut?
Actually, I think we both have very similar career paths. We both graduated high school and went to the military academy at West Point. We were talking about this, as a matter of fact, just a week or two ago, about getting to the military academy, and for me, discovering that the Army had aviation assets and you could become a pilot. And I immediately latched onto that as an interest, and then that extended to later learning about the opportunity to become a test pilot and do some of the unique work inherent in that field. And of course, since the beginning of the space program, that's been a path to pursue a career as an astronaut. And that happened to me. It was in the late 70s. In fact, I remember reading the book The Right Stuff, which chronicles the early history of test flight and the early astronauts. And I knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. So the third question I have is actually mostly about 3D printing. The 3D printing technology is starting to advance. And so I believe it's going to have a huge impact in the space industry. Do you believe it's going to become a vital part of deep space exploration?
You know, RJ, I believe that it will, because one of the things that is very evident from our time up here on Space Station, and frankly through our entire time with NASA and training and getting ready for spaceflight, is how complicated it is to support a vehicle like this. The logistical train in order to make this vehicle run is phenomenal, and the planning that's required, and we have so many smart people that are involved in making sure that all logistics are here for us. And a lot of times it takes months and even years in advance of planning. But if you're able to print the parts that you need for replacement and other devices, I mean, really, it's almost an unbounded sort of capability that you could have in order to produce the things that you need. So I think as the technology develops and becomes less expensive and easier and more compact, I think it has a tremendous role in human spaceflight.
Kind of to add on to that, do you believe that there's going to be a single part of space exploration that this will be vitally important for, like a specific component of spaceflight?
As Tim alluded to, it's very complicated to support a space mission and to maintain a vehicle. One of the challenges related to what he was talking about is we have a lot of equipment, a lot of tools, a lot of spare parts on board, trying to predict what we might need at any given time. And then with the logistics train, it can take months to get something here that we don't have on board, or even longer, depending upon what it is. So with this capability, it gives you the opportunity to produce something that you hadn't anticipated and make it on short notice. It also reduces your stowage requirements. Stowage is a really presents a lot of overhead to life and work and being able to operate the space station. So being able to do that just in general, I think, is very promising. A tool like this, now we don't have a specific use for this tool. We have a generic use for this tool, obviously, with the hex head interfaces and whatnot, but we don't have a specific use. When you have a specific problem, that will drive specific requirements, and the 3D printing then allows you to do a quick design to meet those requirements and get it printed and meet the tool, or make the tool to meet that specific need. And that's the beauty of this.
For my last question, I wanted to ask specifically about living in space. What is a small aspect of living in space that might be a little annoying and it's usually overlooked?
Well, I have to say that we are so well supported up here, and not just in the means of living in space. I mean, obviously, we have the food, the air, the environment, which is phenomenal, right? We're going around the planet every 90 minutes, and outside of this thin hole is a vacuum. So that's just amazing in itself. And so there's lots of niceties that are also taken care of. We have great food on board. We even have internet access. But if I could have one thing, one small thing, it would be high-speed internet.
That's actually all the questions I had. Thank you for your time. This has been a great opportunity, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your space flight.
Well, it's been really fun talking with you, RJ, and congratulations. I think, yeah, this is so cool, and you've got a bright future in front of you because you have a creative mind, a technical mind, and really the sky's the limit. Congratulations.
Keep up the great work.
Yeah, keep it up. Thanks, RJ.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall Space Flight Center. Station, please stand by while we reconfigure video and audio communications.